Howdy y'all, and welcome back to the Quad Life. Well, we're well past halfway of this month of spinal cord injury, and unfortunately we are past the official time of summer, and we've now started into fall. It's the pumpkins here. So what is today's topic of discussion? Well, we've been talking a lot about different subjects about life of spinal cord injury, but one object that we don't talk a lot about is, well, talking. So when you have a high-level injury like me, that usually means you end up using a ventilator or diaphragm pacemaker or some device that helps you to breathe. And with this, it means speaking can be more of a challenge. So, first of all, the item that will make or break your speaking is what kind of trach or tracheostomy that you use. So, there are two main types of trachs, a cuff trach and a cuffless trach. Now, if you cannot maintain your airway very well, and lose a lot of oxygen, well, then you'll need to use what's called a cuffed trach. And just as the name implies, this has a little balloon or a cuff on the end of it that when it's inflated, it basically seals off your throat so that you can get all the air that the vent is putting in you. So this is good for getting your oxygen. However, that means that air does not go up your throat and over your vocal cords, so you can't speak. So obviously with this system, you're not able then to speak audibly, at least with your mouth. There are other systems you can use, such as an eye gaze system that reads your eyes, and you can type and speak that way. I have one friend that does it that way. Or other similar systems that allow you to talk with alternative methods, I guess we'll say. But if you have a cuffless trach and you have air that goes over your vocal cords, well, then you need to have your throat kind of develop the way that kind of closes itself, that you keep air in and can regulate it so that you don't exhale immediately and that you can keep some of the air in to speak. So when this develops, then it makes it so that you're able to speak while you have air. So that is the next obstacle for speaking. So when using a regular ventilator, then you can speak while you're receiving air. So early on for me on the vent, that meant that I could speak for about 2 seconds, and then I had to be quiet for 2 seconds. It's worked for a while, but about the time I was in early grade school and reading books out loud in class, then the teachers and my fellow classmates would think that I had trouble reading. And so therefore all the pauses made it sound like I wasn't comprehending or knew what I was saying. So about second grade, I got something called a Passemeter valve, or better known as a speaking valve. So this was a little device that put in the circuits of my vent that made it so the air could go in my lungs, but I had to breathe out in order to exhale. So this meant I could speak as long as I wanted to. That as long as the vent kept working, of course, and I learned how to regulate my air, then I could talk non-stop without ever stopping. So we saw this video a little bit the other day, but this is me at about age 11, I believe. And I had to turn their sound up, but listen to how I spoke.
A pleasure to meet you, Mr. Ogle. Because of my conventional choice of careers, I'm obligated to remain anonymous. I think you'll be happy to know, Mr. Ogle, that you won't get any more of that left-wing liberal job from me.
So other than having a young voice, you can hear that I went and just kept going. So this is what I used for many years. But when I got my diaphragm pacemaker in 2010, late in the year, then I had to completely relearn speaking yet again. So with the pacemaker, it is just like regular natural breathing. So I take a breath and breathe through my nose. However, it's only at a specified time, or every 4 seconds. So whether I'm ready or not, I gotta stop talking. Early on of learning, I definitely had much more of a gap in my speech, and had a comment recently that noticed that my gap in my speech was getting worse again. And I've noticed this as well the last couple of years. But I'm trying to relearn and pay attention to how much of a pause I have in my natural speech. It's one of the things that annoys me about this system, but really there's no way around it, unfortunately. I had a surgery in 2023, I believe it was, and for some reason the anesthetic that time just made it so that my thinking wasn't quite as clear and my speech wasn't, or something of the sort. So it is something that I'm aware of, and also an item that I want to continue to work on to improve. So that is speaking when you're on a vent, and how you can do it no matter what. I do have a quieter voice, and it's okay with just my own room like this. But if I'm around noise, then it gets more difficult. So I may try to suck in some extra air, and then I can talk a little bit louder. But it hurts my lungs if I do it for very long. And I also notice that when I'm doing it, I take larger breaths and my shoulders bounce more often. So, it's a catch-22, I guess. Do you want to be more bouncy and louder or not? But that is today's topic on the quad life. Thank you for watching these videos this month, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.